Welcome everybody, welcome to the Brooklyn Show. Today we are live on location, that's right. We go around Brooklyn, we find the dopest spots in Brooklyn. We are at 300 Ashland, which is a Two Trees building located in, it's technically Fort Greene, Brooklyn, but I don't know, this is really downtown, wouldn't you say? I mean, I'd say we're downtown.
It's on the border of downtown in Fort Greene, yeah.
It's on the border, but let's call it Fort Greene because I live in Clinton Hill, which is the sister neighborhood of Fort Greene, and I think it's the best neighborhood in Brooklyn. But look, we don't need to talk about that on camera. Let me introduce my guest here, a special Brooklyn Show welcome to Mr. Zachary Aarons. Do you go by Zach or Zachary?
Zach, typically.
Zach, right?
Yeah, my grandfather called me Zachary, but you can call me whatever you want.
Yeah.
You just gotta be nice to me.
I wouldn't call you Zachary.
Okay.
Like, I think that's your mom or your grandfather should call you Zachary.
Yeah.
Your
Zachary
wife,
was my father. You can call me Sir.
Sir. Mister. Call you Mister? So we're here, and now, before we even get started, let's just talk, because, you know, I know you have two job titles. If I look you up on LinkedIn, right, first of all, you make me feel really bad about myself, because I don't feel I've accomplished as much as you have. But in all seriousness, I guess you're a partner or a founder, a co-founder of MetaProp. So let's discuss that in a minute. And then you also work at a company called Millennium Partners, which they're huge, they're big time. Because we have a lot of viewers in like Tennessee who don't know anything about anything.
Love to get down there.
And yeah, it's fantastic, right? And just to Millennium Partners, they own the Capitol Records building in Los Angeles. You know that famed, I guess it's a circular building. Is that right?
Yeah, well, it's famously designed. It looks like it's a stack of records. But one of the great ironies about the building was the architect Lou Nadorf, when he was working at Welton Beckett in the 1950s, actually was not even told who the client was, and designed that stack of records, designed completely by coincidence.
That's actually, I'm an idiot. I never knew that was supposed to be a stack of records.
A stack of records? No, it's not supposed to be a stack of records.
Okay.
It looks like a stack of records.
Yeah.
It coincidentally looks like a stack of records, but he designed the stack of records not even knowing that the ultimate tenant would be a record.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, so it was all by accident.
It was all by accident. The cool thing, though, about that building is the spire on top of it blinks the word Hollywood in Morse code every single night.
Now that's obviously, well, that's on purpose.
That's on purpose.
Let's assume
that was not an accident.
Is that computerized?
I believe,
a computer that just does that?
I don't know exactly how it works, but I believe it's automatic and computerized. I don't think there's someone pushing the button every night to get it to blink the Morse code.
Well, fantastic. I mean, obviously, look, we're starting the LA show next week, and we'll have you on again.
Great. I love LA like Randy Newman. I mean, I love LA.
Like LA. Yeah. That was when the LA Kings got rid of that song when there was a goal scored. I was like, I'm out. I'm a Rangers fan officially now, because that was the best when they scored. We love LA. Anyway, so let's start with MetaProp.
Okay.
What is MetaProp?
So MetaProp, we call ourselves the real estate technology nexus. We have three business verticals. We run a venture capital fund that invests in the best and brightest entrepreneurs who are building businesses in real estate technology, architecture, engineering, construction technology. We have an accelerator program that works with about 6 or so companies per year to accelerate the growth of some of these real estate technology companies. Then we also have an advisory business which works with large real estate firms, large REITs, large real estate corporates, to try and get a handle on this tsunami of technology that is just impacting every facet of the real estate industry.
Now, when you talk about technology and technology that impacts real estate, let's discuss some examples, because a lot of people aren't going to know.
Sure, of course.
But what would you say are the top 3 most crucial technologies impacting real estate? New York City.
Yeah, I'll go by category. So a category of real estate tech that most people will be familiar with is the consumer residential category. Companies like Zillow, Trulia, which are the same company now, Street Easy, which is part of Zillow Network, which is very popular here in Brooklyn. Also on the consumer side, a company like Airbnb would be, in my opinion, considered a real estate technology company.
So these are all websites that we're using on a daily basis.
Yeah, anything that allows a consumer of real estate, so someone who's looking for space, and that can be space, that can be a hotel room, that can be a place to live for a year, that can be a place to work, that can be a place to start up a retail store. Anything that helps a consumer connect with physical space, I would view as real estate technology. There's also a lot of technological solutions that are installed physically into buildings. So sensors that help building owners and managers deal with electricity usage in buildings or water consumption in buildings, things like that. That's
like smart homes.
Bingo.
Smart homes.
Smart homes, but also smart buildings on a commercial larger scale. So that's a huge category. Then there's technology influencing other aspects of real estate, everywhere from mortgage lending to title insurance to appraisal. You can see technology disrupting pretty much every single part of the real estate value chain right now. Yeah. And what we're looking to do is diversify across asset types. So we like to back technology that helps people working in residential real estate, people working in commercial, hospitality, industrial, retail, parking. And then we also like to diversify by professional type. So we support entrepreneurs who are trying to help real estate brokers, real estate agents, title insurance people, landlords, facilities managers, whatever it is.
So you invest in these companies?
Yeah, we invest in these companies. So we're a venture capital fund. We raise money from institutions who are called our limited partners, and we operate as the general partner of the fund. And we try to invest as early as we possibly can in these businesses, and then we provide them strategic mentorship, advice, and introductions to help their business grow.
It's fantastic.
It's a lot of fun.
I'm literally not smart enough to do something like that.
Well, we'd love to take your money.
You know? I mean, can I just give you my money and you'll make me rich?
Yeah, I hope so. It takes a long time, though. That's the problem.
It does take time.
It takes time for these businesses to really find their footing.
What are the three most, I guess, influential real estate websites in the past 2 years?
That have just popped up in the past 2 years?
Or not even popped up, but what are the three Ubers of real estate?
So on the residential side, Zillow remains the 800-pound gorilla. They now have a $7 billion market cap. They continue to have a voracious appetite for acquisition.
It blows me away. Not to cut you off. It blows me away because Zillow, for me as a residential real estate broker, I look at Zillow and I'm like, the reason why Zillow is so powerful is because they don't update their data. So when they're like, we have the number one, biggest data company out there, it's like, yeah, because you don't, when a house sells, you don't mark it as sold and get it off your website. It stays on the website for about a year, right? Even though it's sold and it's not even available, right? So for me, I look at it that way. Don't get me wrong, Mary Jane and Joe, who live in Nashville, right, are looking at Zillow and they're like, well, where else do I look for a home?
Yes,
right?
they have really sort of cornered the market, and they're taking business from a lot of the local MLSs as well.
Yeah.
On the commercial side, the 800-pound gorilla remains CoStar.
Yeah.
CoStar has, at this point, a similar size market cap, $6-7 billion market cap. They still have the greatest collection of commercial data available. And they're still sort of the number one source for data in the commercial sector. Then on the hospitality side, Airbnb is the largest hospitality tech company in the world, arguably largest hospitality company, period, in the world without owning a single hotel room. So I would say those are the three pretty large. Then you also have...
What about websites like Breather?
So Breather is a very interesting company. I was actually the first investor in Breather back in 2012 when they were initially raising capital. Breather dovetails with a thesis we have, which is the fact that space is fundamentally an inefficient asset. meaning that traditionally in commercial real estate, you would sign a 10-year lease, be locked into 10 years in the same space. In residential, you sign typically a 1-year lease, right? Hotels, you sign typically a one-night lease.
One night.
I like to think about it like that. So we've always been believers at MetaProp that what was considered obvious in hotels, where you're signing a lease for one night, would infiltrate both the residential space as well as the commercial space.
Yeah.
And all types of real estate, the different use types would blur, and everything would become more fluid. So the Breather investment was part of that larger thesis about commercial real estate, the 10-year lease no longer working, and people working differently and requiring access to space on demand for 1 hour at a time, 1 day at a time, whatever it is. And we view it as a win-win for everybody. We think the landlord will make more money. We think the tenant will ultimately spend less money than they would on a traditional 10-year lease. And we think the customer will be much happier. So we're very bullish on Breather. And we're bullish on, frankly, all companies with good management teams who are looking to transform lease structures within each division of real estate.
Do you think they're ever going to get rid of real estate brokers?
No. We don't ever believe that. Here's what we say. I run around town a lot assuring real estate agents and real estate brokers that their job is secure. I believe their job is secure. What I wouldn't say, I wouldn't tell your 2 daughters to get into your business.
Don't tell my 2 daughters to get into it.
I won't tell them anything, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't tell them...
Yeah, please don't talk to them.
I wouldn't tell them to get into the agent business. I think what we're looking at is technology over the next 10 to 15 years will enable agents and brokers to do their job faster, better, cheaper, and will help them. I don't believe the disintermediation disruption thing is really going to happen en masse for potentially 30 some odd years.
Now, we all know that the commercial sector, the retail sector is, I hate saying in trouble, but it's certainly changing at the very least. What do you see as the future of retail? The future, really, the future of retail. Where do you see that going?
So, I'll just put it out there. Unlike everyone else who pontificates, I don't really know, but I have some thoughts about it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pretend I can see the future. However, we've experienced a fundamental dislocation in the retail market, where the issue is the traditional dry goods apparel retailer who used to occupy space, whether it's high street or slightly off high street or mall retail, those tenants can no longer afford to pay the rents that landlords require to hit their return targets. So there's so much empty space because of that. Now, I believe there will always be an appetite for brick and mortar for larger companies, larger retailers who can afford to use their retail location as basically an expensive business card, as an opportunity to do what they call omnichannel. Yeah. So omnichannel means everyone's shopping, the experience between in-shop, brick and mortar, and online is completely integrated, is seamless, it dissolves, and you don't know whether you're shopping online or shopping in the store. It's basically the same thing. For some of these smaller retailers, they don't have the infrastructure or balance sheet to do omnichannel. So what's going to happen is all of these retail locations where they can't accommodate a large company doing omnichannel or a food and beverage operator are going to have to completely reposition those spaces. I don't know what happens to those spaces. Do they become co-retailing spaces where people share the burden and you have micro stores like you've seen in the food hall space?
Yeah.
Do they become logistics centers for Amazon, who's delivering stuff to everybody through drones and they need more warehousing space? Do they all become bars and restaurants? I don't know. What I can tell you is that
or gyms.
The old dry goods retailer that does not have an omnichannel presence and is just looking to make all their money in brick and mortar, that business is gone.
It's gone.
It is gone, and the sooner those companies realize it, and the sooner landlords realize it and stop chasing it, it will benefit everybody in the market, I think.
Look, I think at the end of the day, too, if you know one thing, not just real estate, but just the world, right? We adapt. So even though we might be in an in-between stage right now, I think the world will adapt in however ways it must.
Absolutely, and we are investing very heavily right now at MetaProp in companies that use natural language processing, artificial intelligence, and sort of deep analytics to help retailers decide where they should be opening, as opposed to sort of slapdash, I saw 10 people walk by there, so the pedestrian count must be high, right?
Yeah.
These retailers are getting super smart, super deep on the analytics, and also on the landlord side, getting super smart and super deep on how they market retail space to these retailers. So we're now trying to finance technology companies that are empowering landlords to say, okay, retailer X, we know you'll be successful here because of these demographic shifts in this neighborhood. And the same to retailers. They can say, we know you will be successful if you open a store here on Ashland Place, but not over there on Fort Greene Place.
Well, I mean, if you notice here, we're at 300 Ashland, right? It's a brand new building, not even a year old, maybe a year old, something like that. And it's all food.
Yeah.
You know, we're in a big food court. City Point, same thing, right? So, you know, and Brooklyn is kind of known for food.
Yeah. You're going to see more and more on that's an interesting point on the, I talked about blurring the lines between what were considered different uses back in the old world of real estate. You're now seeing commercial buildings looking to install residential type amenities in their buildings to lure commercial tenants. So,
like what? Give me an example.
Gyms, concierge services, food halls like this. So we're.
Well, think about it. You've got this, right? You've got this. You want to live upstairs, right? You've got food.
Exactly.
They might kick us out. It's okay. They're gonna kick us out.
Probably not.
I don't think they're gonna kick us out. Someone just came and
I'm pretty well known in this borough.
Like they were kind of like, what are you guys doing? You know, I mean,
you know, I've lived in this neighborhood for a decade now,
you
so
lived for a decade,
I got some real street cred.
You got some street cred. Me too. I mean, I've lived here a long time. I just, you know, I think, you know, in today's world with all social media and so forth, it does more harm to be a dick than not to be a dick. You know what I'm saying? Because it's going to be all over. It's going to be all over on the internet. So let's talk about millennial partners. Millennium's our partner.
Millennium. We have few millennials, but we're working on that. We're working on getting some
Dude,
more
you are
millennials. And I'm not even really a millennial. I identify with the micro generation. We're known as the Jordan Catalano generation.
Hey, guys.
Hey, what's up,
I
man?
don't know if you want another drink. This is the menu just in case, all right?
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. That was kind of weird. So go. Tell me about Millennium.
So Millennium, we're a large-scale mixed-use development firm. The company was founded in 1991 to develop the area around Lincoln Center. We're now celebrating, last year we celebrated our 25th anniversary, our Jubilee. We're active in America's key gateway cities, so we are developing most actively now in Boston.
Boston. I was just there this weekend.
Yeah, we got a lot of fun, interesting projects going on up there. But we own real estate in Boston, San Francisco, Los Angeles, DC,
Chicago,
Miami. Nothing ever in Chicago.
Really? That's not one of America's gateway cities.
It's not technically a gateway city because it's not on a coast. But I do love it, and I love the food. And we've looked actually at stuff in Chicago. We actually put a bid on. I don't know if you saw, they were selling the Tribune Tower, which is an iconic trophy property, along with the development rights to the parking lot to the side of it. We were outbid, but we did put a bid on that site. It was won by a local developer.
How do you get notified of these major trophy properties across the country? Like, how do you know the Tribune Tower is for sale?
So, you know, I'm on the email server for Eastdil and Cushman & Wakefield and JLL, the investment sales brokers. They just push it out. Yeah, a similar way that you guys would push out a hot apartment that just came up for sale or lease.
So you just get it, you know.
Yeah, you just get it, you know. You know, we don't look. We don't have a very active acquisitions department. We probably look at, I don't know, 3 to 4 things a year, and we probably buy one thing every 5 years.
Yeah,
We're slow. Yeah, we're slow to buy because we do really large developments.
But when you buy, it's a beast.
When we buy, it's a beast, and it takes a huge amount of human capital and financial capital.
What's the biggest thing you own? What's like the number one trophy property?
The largest development we've ever done is a development we just completed in Boston. It's called Millennium Tower Boston. It's a 60-story residential condominium tower with retail at the base. Connected.
Where
it's in Downtown Crossing, Boston. So the historic core, the center of Boston. And then we, in connection with that, both connection physically and also connection from a deal perspective, we renovated the old Filene's building.
Filene's basement.
So we turned that into an office building with retail at the base. We're very proud of that project. It was actually the last building the great Chicago architect Daniel Burnham ever designed. His most famous work in New York would be the Flatiron Building. It was the last thing he ever did in 1912.
Yeah.
And so it was we bought it, we renovated it, we restored it to its original grandeur, and we also brought retail back to that property. So a company called Primark, which is a very large Irish retailer, they selected the Burnham Building as their first ever United States location. And they're just knocking the cover off the ball at that location in Boston. So we're very, very proud of that project. For Millennium, we're very happy doing stuff in Boston for the near future.
Oh, that's fantastic.
We found a great niche there. We have a great brand there. So we would be happy to just sort of continue to develop in Boston.
And you live in Brooklyn.
I live in Brooklyn, yeah.
Right. You have kids here in Brooklyn.
Yes, I have two wonderful boys.
This is your spot.
Yeah.
You're not going anywhere.
We just renovated our house actually, and so I'm definitely not going anywhere for the next at least 25 years.
Not going anywhere. So you are stuck. I'm
stuck. Yeah.
You are stuck in Brooklyn.
I'm stuck here. Yeah.
What's your favorite thing about Brooklyn?
Oh, it's so hard to sort of single out one thing. What I would say, I grew up on the Upper West Side of Manhattan, and I loved growing up there, and I loved my experience. But I never woke up on a Saturday morning, went to a farmer's market, and knew everybody there. I wake up with my sons and my wife in Fort Greene. We go out to the park, we go to the farmer's market, we know people. It's a real community. It's a tight-knit community, but it's a community with all the amenities, all the benefits of New York City, the greatest city in the world, at your fingertips, just subway stop away for wherever you want to go, but with a real small-town feel. And I don't know of too many other places on planet Earth where you can get something like that. I really don't.
Where it's a big city, but it's really small.
Yeah, so that's really what I love about living in Brooklyn and Fort Greene specifically. I mean, Fort Greene, what I love about Fort Greene is it remains dynamic. It continues to be a haven for artists and writers and actors and creative types. Has great restaurants and bars, and the park is a fantastic amenity. So
Fort Greene Park.
Fort Greene Park. Yeah. And we're not far from Prospect Park.
You go to Prospect Park.
We go plenty to Prospect Park. We're about a mile and change.
The horses. From ride the horses.
You mean the carousel or the actual horses?
The actual horses.
I'm allergic to horses, so I haven't. But my sons love horses. They have not yet rode horses though in Prospect Park. But
are we doing Price It Out? Are we doing Price It Out today?
Yeah, if you want to.
Do we have it?
Yeah.
Well, we got to do Price It Out. So we pick Price It Out's a game we're playing the show.
Amazing. I can't
So we pick two properties, and then you gotta pick which is most expensive.
Oh, okay. But can I guess what the price is though?
You could guess. Sure. Make it more complicated.
I'm gonna be terrible at this, which is embarrassing because I'm supposed to be like a real estate.
No, you know what? I don't get them all right.
That's why when I meet people on like airplanes and stuff, and they're like, "Oh, what do you do for a living?" and I say I'm in real estate, they say, "Well, should I sell my house right now?" And I'm like,
I don't know.
No idea.
I don't do that. You know what the funny thing is actually. This is what I say. This game's hard because there's a lot of dumb real estate brokers. That's the truth. And so you can't take that into effect. You look at this, you're like, oh, this should be $500,
Right, and they've just
but it's like
mispriced
$1 million,
it,
right?
yeah.
So it happens all the time.
Okay.
So all right, so here we
ready.
got 57 Front Street in Dumbo.
Okay, Dumbo. Yeah, I'm familiar
All right,
with that.
700 square feet.
Studio.
It's a studio. There's your common charges. There's property number 1.
This is for sale.
This is for sale.
Okay.
All right, give it a look.
This should be priced at $1,100 a foot.
1,100 a foot. I bet you it's more, but okay. But but you're right. But I bet you it's more. Dumbo tends to be.
All right, let's say $1,500 a foot.
There we go. Now we're talking. Well, okay. And then we got 550 Vanderbilt, which we all know. That's
Prospect
right
Heights,
there,
great
Prospect
neighborhood.
Heights. And it's a studio, 450 square feet. There's your common charges right there, 450 square feet.
This, I'm going to venture to say this is $1,000 a foot.
You're gonna say 1,000 a foot
And 1,500 a foot.
1,500 a foot. All right, so let's whip it out. This one does have a garden, and this one has a roof deck.
Nice.
Which one do you think's more expensive? So I guess you think
This one's definitely more expensive.
57
The Dumbo
front is
one.
more
even
expensive? I
though
agree with you,
the FF&E here is less nice than this one.
FF&E.
Furniture, fixtures, equipment.
Seriously, right? All right, so 760 over here in Prospect Heights, and this one is
Oh my God.
749. Look at that.
God. I'm terrible.
Look at that, right? See, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It happens.
Good thing I'm not on our sales and marketing team at Millennium, huh?
Well, this,
They don't let me anywhere near our sales
There we go.
offices.
Look, you know what? When you look at it that way, you want to know. I'm gonna give you the
Give me,
cheat.
yeah. I
Ready
want
for the
to
cheat?
learn from the master.
Look at the common charges. The common
Low.
charges usually, whenever they're higher, like look, so this one's 477.
Yeah, which is
and the common charges over here were 576. Usually, the higher common charge is
lower
the more
price.
expensive.
More expensive.
Yeah. All right, so here we go. 161 North 4th in Williamsburg.
Yep.
790
North side.
square feet.
Yep.
Here's Fort Greene, 1 Hanson, which is the clock tower
Very
building.
familiar with One Hanson.
937 square feet. Now again, let's look at the common charges. 885 at 1 Hanson, 760 over at North 4th.
All right, this one has got to be $1,400 a foot. This one's gonna be $1,200 a foot.
I'll disagree. I'm gonna say 1,200 a foot over here, and this one I'm gonna say 1,300 a foot.
Okay.
That's just my.
Well, I trust you. I mean, you're.
But I'm guessing. I don't
Okay.
know. I'm guessing too. 118. So I'd say that's about 1,300. That's about 12. That's about 1,250, 1,300, right? Am I wrong? I don't know. Okay, and then this one, 1,050,000. Yeah, so we were right. 1 Hanson's more expensive. 1,050,000, 790 a foot is 1,200 a foot. Almost exactly.
There we go. We nailed it.
Exactly.
I will tell you, when the Williamsburg Savings Bank building was built, that was the largest clock tower, largest clock in the country.
When it was built.
When it was built, 1929. Art
Today, I
Deco
think it's
masterpiece.
fifth, isn't it? It's fifth.
Wow, there you go. I didn't
think
even know
it's
that.
fifth. Yeah, I think it's fifth.
You guys would kill it trivia.
Yeah, I think it's fifth.
Wow.
I was told fifth. It's the 5th largest clock tower in the world.
Awesome.
I'm assuming Big Ben.
Well, the Colgate
is third.
the Colgate toothpaste clock is bigger.
Oh, I didn't know there was a clock. for
Yeah,
the
well,
Colgate.
if you look
Yeah.
across the river into Jersey City, that is like Jersey City's monument claim to fame. We have the Colgate
I
toothpaste.
never
clock.
look into Jersey.
Yeah,
I
Brooklyn.
never
baby.
do that.
Dude,
I don't. Do
should
you
keep
do
it
that
way.
on a regular basis?
Frequently, I frequently look across the
into
river
Jersey
and I
and
say,
like,
"Gosh, I'm glad
Thank God I
don't
live
there."
here. Thank God I don't
Except
live in
that
Jersey.
Colgate toothpaste clock
You're
is
like,
so
but that
attractive.
clock is awesome. Makes me.
We have another. Is this
One
the last
more.
one?
This
Because
is the last
I'm
one.
getting embarrassed.
This is the last one. All right. We got 149 Kinsella in Williamsburg. 3-bed, 1-bath, 1,480 square feet. That's going to be like 1,100 a foot, if not 1,000. Probably 1,000 a foot. It is a duplex. Okay.
I don't like the one bath though.
I'd say 1,000 a foot.
All right, I'll go with you. 1,000 a foot.
And then 613 Baltic Park Slope.
This is going to
Park
be
Slope
way
for
more.
sure.
This is going to be more like
See, look at the common charges.
huge.
Look at the common
I'm
charges.
going to venture to say that, and
1,000.
a huge outdoor space. I'm going to
Yeah.
venture to say this is 1,600 or 1,700 a foot.
Wow, 1,700.
I'm going to punch
a foot.
up. I think this is
I mean,
a
it's
pride.
definitely more expensive.
This looks to me like a trophy property.
All right, let's see. 2.21. So it's like you're right. You're dead on with the square footage numbers. And then that's 115. Not even close. If you got this one wrong, you'd feel dumb. You'd feel dumb because it's such a differentiation.
Oh, you mean like which one's more
In
expensive?
price.
Yeah. But I'm gunning for like actually guessing the price. I'm not, I'm not like going. I'm going for like the extra
Look, we're not
credit
judging
points.
you. Zachary. It's called you Zachary like your grandfather.
Yeah.
Zachary. Do you want to play ball?
Zachary. My grandfather used to drive, so he used to have his head pressed up on the wheel like this, and then he used to, even though his turning signals functioned totally correctly and fine, he used to make weird signals out the window of his car when he was turning.
Or like a bike rider?
Like he was a cyclist, and people
that.
would just like freak out, and like no one would drive anywhere near him.
And your grandfather, he grew up in New York?
He grew up in the Bronx, so he grew up in the Bronx. He grew up on 172nd Street in Jerome Ave. Okay, and he's legit.
Yeah.
Then he went to City College. He would take the subway to City College.
Yeah.
And then he wound up, unfortunately, in Newton, Mass, and he became a Red Sox fan. Yeah.
Dude, and he became a Red Sox fan.
It's really despicable. God rest his soul. I love the man, but that was tough. It was tough being the grandson of a turncoat.
Dude, you're gonna kill me right now. I gotta end the show. We're done.
It's terrible.
We're over. That was a little weird when the guy
20
came
more
over
minutes.
asking us for beer.
It was weird.
That was a little weird.
I think he wanted to get on camera.
Is that what he wanted?
Yeah.
He wanted to be on camera?
Yeah,
Is that what it was?
Yeah, for sure.
Weird. All right. Well, dude, thank you for coming, man. I
This was a
appreciate
pleasure.
it. I appreciate it.
I'll see you at
We'll
Shelsky
do it.
Smoked Fish
Oh,
on Saturday
for sure
morning.
we're going to Shelsky
Yeah.
Smoked Fish. Do you go there on Saturday morning?
As much as I can. Pete, that's for you.
Pete, I'm going to be walking in there, and I want some smoked fish. Dude, thanks for doing this. And,
It's my absolute pleasure.
That's it. Everyone,
Thank
thanks for tuning in. And peace. See you. Next week, no show. It's July 4th, so we're out, but we'll be back.
Happy birthday, America.
And if you miss me, you could email me, whatever you want. Peace.